Hi, everyone. I'm going to give a few minutes to let everybody log in. So we're just going to wait till a couple past noon. Yeah, 2 more minutes. Okay, I think that was enough time to let people log in. So hello, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today for Jasper's webinar series with Twist Out Cancer. My name is Lindsay Nyenbrink. I am the manager of clinical operations and a care coach here at Jasper. Before we get to our webinar, I just wanted to do a few quick housekeeping. If you notice all of your mics are muted and your cameras are turned off, this is so that the focus can remain on our speaker today. If you have any technical issues, please reach out by emailing support@hellojasper.com, or you can write it in the chat, but please understand that we have a limited capacity to address your needs during the webinar and that it is being recorded, so you can always refer back to it and watch it later on our website. Please make sure to include any questions during the webinar in the Q&A box, and we will address and answer those questions at the end of the webinar. So on the agenda for today, we're going to discuss what is Jasper, Jasper's Cancer Organization and Nonprofit Partner Network, discuss really quickly our Jasper community. We are going to discuss the wonderful nonprofit organization Twist Out Cancer with Jenna, who I'll be introducing shortly, and then going over your questions. So what is Jasper? Jasper Health is a free smart planning app, which offers virtual companion to help anybody who is affected by cancer, whether you're somebody who is diagnosed, you're a friend, family, or caregiver. We provide a personalized planner on our app where you can track your symptoms, your moods, your side effects. We have a knowledge library with a plethora of articles related to different topics, whether it be about what to expect for treatment, even as specific as cold caps, how to manage and work on coping skills. And then we have live support and guidance with a chat that is available during business hours where you can get through to a care coach for that one-on-one support who can answer any of your questions regarding different topics that are listed here, such as nutrition wellness, financial toxicity, remission and survivorship, physical wellness, and emotional support. So you can send a message and reach out at any time. We also have our new live communities, which is a safe space for anybody touched by cancer. It's a really wonderful program that we have launched, and it connects peers with others going through a similar situation. So you can pick what group you want to be in. We have diagnosis specific groups. We have some fun groups. For example, we have all the different diagnoses, but then we have a book club group. We have a mom's group. We have one about working with cancer. So I encourage you to explore the app, look at the communities, find a group that you're interested in. You can join. There's also options to just kind of share your journey and post on communities, and then connect with peers in a similar situation. So I encourage you all to go ahead and check it out. Here at Jasper, we are really big believers on connecting with other organizations that share our same passion. So we currently are connected with over 50 cancer organizations and nonprofit partners. It's important that they all share our mission. And so it's in order for us to be successful, we connect with other organizations to bring these great resources to our members and connect you with them and make you aware of them. And as you would know, Twist Out Cancer is one of these wonderful organizations. So today I am delighted to have the opportunity to make you more aware of the wonderful services and resources they offer. So I'm going to introduce you to Jenna Ben Schercher with Twist Out Cancer. And to get started, Jenna, if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about Twist Out Cancer.
Lindsay, thank you so much. And you pronounce my last name so well.
Yeah,
it's a mouthful. So thank you so much for having me. We're super excited to be one of Jasper's partners. It's been a wonderful opportunity working with you and your team. And we're just really grateful for the opportunity to be able to spread the word about Twist and be a part of your incredible community. So I started Twist almost 11 years ago now, after my own diagnosis with gray zone lymphoma. So gray zone lymphoma is a super rare blood cancer. When I was diagnosed back in 2010, there were 200 documented cases worldwide. So it was a very lonely and isolating place to be. I was 29 years old, was sort of in the prime of my life, working at a dream job. I had a boyfriend. I was going out all the time and doing all the things. And my health really started to very quickly fall apart. And people didn't really know what was going on and what was wrong. I, went through lots of different ER visits to my primary care doctor. And it really took about 9 months for them to figure out that I had this super rare condition. And when I was going through treatment as a young adult with a rare type of cancer, I started to realize very quickly that there were not enough resources out there that focused on the psychosocial impact of a cancer diagnosis, both on the individual, but also on the family unit and on the friend unit. So while I was going through treatment, I started to see these holes, and I was really determined that if I could get through treatment and start to feel better, that I really wanted to give back to the community that I sort of organically built without a plan in place. It was really out of desperation and loneliness that I started to create an online community. So Twist essentially focuses on utilizing the creative arts as a mechanism for healing. So everything that we do is creative arts focused, and we run a number of different programs throughout the year that focus on different ways of utilizing the creative arts. And to date, we've had over 240,000 people touched by cancer that have participated in our programs, both online and in person. And we have chapters in Chicago, Toronto, Philly, Austin, Montreal, Detroit, and Tel Aviv, and over 200 ambassadors around the world.
That's amazing. Yeah. I love to hear that.
Yeah.
That's great. So thank you for sharing that. That's, I'm glad that you've created this great program that other people can then find a resource and benefit from. So your first program that you started out with Brushes with Cancer, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So can you tell us a little bit about that first program, what it was like, and how that's kind of moved on to all your other amazing programs?
Yeah, absolutely. So essentially, we had created a website. Initially, when Twist was born, I thought, okay, I want to create a space where people can come together, share their story, explain what they've gone through or are going through, and put out a call to action that's meaningful to them. So my oncologist at the time had connected me with this young woman named Anna. And Anna was also a gray zone lymphoma survivor, happened to live about 10 miles away from me. It was super rare. And so it was pretty crazy that we both were being treated around the same time. She was about 6 months behind me in the process. And she was 19 at the time. And she was an art history major who felt that she had been robbed of her creativity. And so she put out a call to action on our website saying, I'm desperate to create again, create a work of art, not using the shade of gray because gray is all that I'm seeing. And within a couple of days, we had people all over the world that were creating art in her honor. It was like this unbelievable outpouring of love and support from all corners of the globe. And so it became very clear to me that there was something that really resonated about her story and really called people to act. And I should back up. Before Anna put out her call to action, the name Twist Out Cancer comes from the challenge that I put out to the community. So when I was midway through treatment and I was going through, a really difficult time, I was blogging about my experiences, and it was incredibly liberating for me to be upfront and open and honest and vulnerable about everything that was happening to me. But at the same time, as the blog started to get traction, I started to realize that there were people that were participating in my journey that I was not connected to, that I had no clue about. And so I put out a call to action asking for people to join me on the dance floor to do the twist. And within a couple of days, we had a couple thousand people twisting out cancer.
Wow.
So that is what really sparked the creation of this website, this call to action platform. And then we had Anna, who put out her call to action. And so at that point in the process, we were like a month into, having launched. And I had this amazing call to action that was put up. And it started to get me thinking, like, what is it about my story that motivated people to act? And what is it about Anna's story that motivated them to act? And what became very clear to me is that the creative arts was sort of the thread that was tying our stories together. We both were desperate to somehow communicate our experiences to the community. And so for Anna, it was the creation of actual artwork. For me, I was writing and I was dancing again. So it became clear that, the creative arts really can be healing. And I really was focused on trying to create a program that was inspired by Anna's story, but also had some ties in with mine as well. And so Brushes with Cancer, in a nutshell, is our hallmark program. We've been doing it now for 10 years. It's amazing. We essentially match artists with people that have been touched by cancer. So that includes previvors, people that are genetically predisposed to cancer. It includes survivors, people that have heard those 3 words, you have cancer, and have survived that life-changing experience. And it also includes caregivers. We refer to them as our inspirations. We match them up with our artists, and over 6 months, the inspirations share their story, explain what they've gone through, what they're going through, what it has been like for them, how their lives have changed as a result of cancer. And then their artists who they're matched with creates a work of art that's reflective of their journey with cancer. And we do big art exhibitions and galas and events that focus on storytelling and bringing the community together. And it's been beautiful, honestly. So that is the main program that we run. And we run multiple open programs throughout the year. And then we do licensed programs with other nonprofits, other for-profits, other educational institutions, where we bring that program into their space and we customize the program based on that community. So yeah, so that's Brushes in a nutshell.
It really is beautiful. And so I love that you do previvors as well, because people don't realize that knowing that you have a genetic predisposition can bring up so many different emotions, and you have feelings of isolation because maybe your people closest to you, they obviously can't relate. So they need that support as well. So I think that's amazing that you include them and that population, and they now have a resource, because I don't think many people do that.
No, and I mean that, and I also think that caregivers are sort of our unspoken heroes.
Right.
Often get left out too, and there's tremendous impact on them as
for
well.
sure.
But yes, with previvors, I mean, when we look at specifically think about BRCA1 and BRCA2 genetic mutations, so people that are genetically predisposed to breast cancer, ovarian cancer, some people are going through, preventative measures, like going through surgeries, which is essentially the same as a cancer treatment for that. Right. So having a space to be able to share all of the issues around that is really important. And I think it also, the more pre-Viber stories that we can amplify, it also, I think, really encourages people to go out and get genetic screening and to talk
Yeah.
to physicians about family history, because that is so important. I mean, just understanding your risk and what you need to be monitoring for. So a big piece of this, it's not just the focus on the creative arts. Obviously, that's very important, but the storytelling and the advocacy piece is super important too, because these stories are being shared widely. They're not just shared at the event, they're on our website, they're in program books, they're in physical books. So, our goal is to really try and get rid of the stigma that can come with a cancer diagnosis. There's no reason for it. So the more that we talk about sort of what is hard and what is difficult, we feel like we're able to break down barriers so that people can be more open and honest with each other, and then also be able to access resources that they need.
Yeah. And bringing the awareness and the education to it. And that's great. So, and I like that you do caregivers too. At Jasper, I think 20% of our population is for caregivers. We're really big on caregivers and focusing on them and letting them know all of our resources are available to them, because they are kind of the forgotten ones.
Yeah.
But, they have the risk of burnout, and just, it's so much falls on them. And when they're taking care of the patient, it's important that the caregiver stays well as well, because the energy is kind of synergistic. And if they're not well, then they can't take care of their loved one. And so we want to make sure that everybody is emotionally, physically being well taken care of. So I absolutely love Brushes with Cancer. And I think you've turned it into a beautiful thing. You said, so they get linked with an artist. So do they do any art, or the artist does it? Are they encouraged to do some as well?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So typically the artists are the ones that are creating. We've had a couple of circumstances that they're the outliers where it's a joint collaboration. So if, let's say, the artist and inspiration live within close proximity to each other, they may decide together that the artist wants to have the inspiration's hands involved in the project. That's not necessarily typical. It's not what we expect of our artists. However, all of our participants in Brushes with Cancer are provided with the opportunity to participate in a number of our twist shops, which is our second program that we offer. So twist shops are art therapy focused workshops on a variety of different topics. So by being accepted into the Brushes program, all of the artists and all of the inspirations have access to actually create in a therapeutic environment. Which is, doesn't necessarily go towards what is exhibited later on, but it's a chance to really engage in art therapy and in art making and to connect with others. And then we also have what are called peer-to-peer run groups. So we think it's really important that the matches connect with each other, but also connect with one another in the program, because we're building community. It's not just about the pairs. So we create a space where the artists have peer-to-peer led sessions because artists are taking on a lot. They're hearing stories of pain and hardship,
right,
of death and mourning. And so to have a space to be able to kind of collect themselves and reflect on that is important. And some of the artists also have issues with making sure that they're staying true to what they create, right? So that it's really important that the artists are creating art that reflects the journey, but is not necessarily for the inspiration. And I think that's like a really important thing. We intentionally don't ask the inspirations, what kind of art do you like? Or what's your favorite color? Because that's not really about that. It's about having your story articulated through someone else's eyes and being able to see yourself in that. That is the key, right? Because we get so stuck oftentimes in our own perception of what we've experienced. But sometimes if we can take ourselves out of that and see those experiences portrayed by someone else and how they see it, it can really be healing. So the importance of color or medium is not as important as feeling heard and seen by the artist and then having that story translated. And so that can be complicated. That's a big undertaking for the artist. And so making sure they feel supported is really key. And then for our inspirations, we want to make sure that they feel connected to the inspiration community as well. So they have their own peer-to-peer led sessions, which are wonderful. Yeah.
And that's all online?
It's all done by Zoom.
By Zoom. That's great.
Yeah.
Wow. And then you have so you also have your available to children. I
Yes,
saw
that's new.
the Twist Hearts educational.
Yep.
If you could tell us a little bit about that, that seemed like a really great I mean, they're all great programs, but I
Yeah.
would love to hear more about it.
No, we're really excited about it. I mean, there's been an interest in being able to create programming for children of, parents that have cancer or that have been touched by cancer in some ways. So this was inspired by this wonderful woman, Grace Falls Lombardo, who's been an inspiration with us twice now. She was diagnosed with breast cancer about 6 years ago and then relapsed around 5 years. And it was a big blow to the family. She was incredibly outspoken, has had a documentary made on her. I mean, she's very active in the breast cancer community, has done a ton in terms of advocacy and trying to promote, people getting checked and really taking care of themselves. And so her husband reached out to me and said, I don't want to be quiet this time around. I want to have a voice and I want to do something that's going to be meaningful, not just for my family, but also like really specifically for my children, because they've been impacted by this. And so we started to devise a curriculum that's called Twist Hearts. It's led by Jacqueline Carmody, who also developed our Twist Shop curriculum. She's our art therapist that's on staff with us. And she essentially went into Northbrook Junior High School, which is where Grace's kids are. And we developed a program that was focused on love and what does love look like and feel like. And we used love as sort of the way to enter the classroom because everyone can connect to that, has experiences with that. And then we were able to sprinkle in the cancer piece into the curriculum so that it wasn't like a hard, like you could only participate if you've had experiences with cancer. But we talked about how do you manage a health crisis? What does your support system look like? And what was really beautiful about this program is that it was very collaborative. We had a lot of the teachers at the school that were creating art in tandem with the students, and they created a beautiful mural that then was displayed at the Wonder Museum in Chicago, which was a wonderful partnership that we had last year. So it's been like a beautiful undertaking. And now we're going to be implementing it at a Philly base school where I'm, based outside of Philly. So there's this amazing Montessori school, and we're going to be working with their kindergarten class for a 6-part series starting in May there. And, the word is starting to get out, and we're really excited to be able to implement this program and to be working with the younger generation of Twisters.
Absolutely. It's definitely so needed and so important because especially at that age, the word cancer, they don't either know about it or it's scary to them. So to come from a place of love and something that they can relate to, which at that age, coloring art, and to bring into art, that's just wonderful. So congratulations on starting that program. And I can't wait to hear more about it. I'm sure it's going to be greatly successful. It's much needed. So you did mention that it's all over Zoom, but you also you have different ways for the members to be parts of the program, right? It's kind of a hybrid.
Yeah. So, we got back into doing stuff in person last year, which was very exciting because, listen, we're dealing with an immunosuppressed population. So we didn't want to take any chances. But I think what COVID really taught us is that we have the ability to connect and create meaningful relationships online. I mean, I saw it firsthand when I was sick, so I knew this to be the case, right? Like my world was through my blog and through Facebook and connecting online because I wasn't able to go outside. So it was an easier transition for us to have our programs exist online in that space. And we realized that we didn't need to be geography specific. For so long, our programs were like, it was Chicago or it was Tel Aviv or it was Montreal. But now, I mean, in this last year, we had artists and inspirations from 8 different countries and from, I think, 30 different states around the US. So what's nice about Zoom is that, yes, there could be a time difference, but ultimately there's ways to connect with each other, and it allows for the world to seem a lot more intimate and connected. And so that has been a wonderful sort of, thing that has happened since COVID. But we also recognize that there's no replacement for face-to-face interaction. And so we are very mindful that when we get applicants, if they are located close to one another, our preference is to try and match them up locally, because some people do feel comfortable going out to restaurants or going and getting a coffee now or sitting outside at a park. And so we want to make sure that we're not limiting that possible connection point. And in terms of the art exhibitions and galas, this last year, we were able to live stream everything that we were doing. And we also have the website that allows us to do a lot of the storytelling. We have podcasts with the participants, which is wonderful. And then we also do an online auction that allows people to connect and to bid on art and to support the stories from no matter where they are in the world. So we've been trying to implement new technology to be able to reach our participants no matter where they're at.
That's great. So you can, having both options, you can reach a lot more people and then give them the opportunity if they are comfortable. Because I do know, a lot of people aren't comfortable with, their immune system being down, but to have that as an option and then to be able to have your fundraisers and all those different things and the auctions to be on Zoom, that's great. I mean, we love Zoom. Jasper is all digital, so we're a big believer in it. The more people you can reach and help, the better. And we're getting a little short on time and I want to leave time for questions, but I want to say congratulations. I know last year you celebrated 10 years of Twist Out Cancer. That's amazing. So now you're in your 11th year, right?
Yes. Yeah.
That's awesome. That just is, a testament to the wonderful work you're doing and all the people you're helping and continue to help. It's much needed. And, there's so much research on art therapy and just being artistic and the therapeutic value to that. So that's great that you're providing that. And really quick, so I wanted to show, this is just a few, but if you go to the website, anyone, if you're watching, if you go to the website, which I'll post the link for, you have tons of art on there, which is just amazing art. I just put a few of them here, which you can just see. They're all just, I personally love art, but these are just great. And they have the title, who it's by, and who it's inspired for. And that's all on the website. So you can go check out their website to see these and then a bunch more. I wish I could have put them all here, but we didn't have enough time for it. But the website is www.twistoutcancer.org. And then they are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest, and LinkedIn. Yeah, I always had them all. So that is how you can get involved. And, do you have any... For anyone who does want to get involved, do you just say what would be the best route to go to the website?
Yeah, you can go to the website, but you can also always email me, Jenna, JENNA at twistoutcancer.org. Love to hear from you.
That's great. And we can put that in. I can add that information in your website as well. And I think your email, and your email is also on the website, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So they can get to you. Well, great. Thank you so much. I want to get to some questions really quick. And then we'll talk about our next webinar. So let's see. I had one question came in that said, so for as far as somebody who wants to do the art, I know that you link them up with artists, but for the virtual ones, even for the kids, do you provide the supplies or do they have to purchase them? Do you give them a list? How do they know what to get? Do you let them pick what medium they use?
It really depends. So for twist shops, we always send out a list in advance, and they're usually very big supplies that people will have around the house anyways. It's nothing fancy. And for some of them, like we just recently partnered with an artist that's based in Philly last week, and she actually sent out kits that were like very specific because she was using a very specific technique that she wanted people to try at home. So, all of our programs for the most part are free. That program, there was a cost associated with it just because of shipping and the materials. But what we do throughout the year is fundraise to be able to create, access points for people of all different backgrounds. That's super important to us. So there's never a charge for Brushes with Cancer. There's never a charge for twist shops, except for that one. That was really the outlier for us. But yes, we always make recommendations about art supplies. And if there's ever an issue related to finances, like if they don't have the means to go out and purchase art supplies, we are here to help and have partnerships that we can activate.
That's great. One asked if their spouse can participate, which I know you said caregivers, but I think they meant in it would be more focused just on the, do you ever link, so for the inspiration, do you ever link it to the caregivers as well?
Oh, yeah. The caregivers
good.
definitely can participate. We have plenty of caregivers that are participating
good.
as inspirations that, they get to tell their story, what it was like for them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very important. Oh, I'm glad you guys do that. That's really great. Let's see if I can do one more question. So I get this a lot. Even just in general, when you talk about art therapy, when I'm talking to members, they're like, well, I'm not artistic. Do you hear that a lot?
Yes. And I'm
Because
not,
they don't realize that then they're like, whoa,
Right.
what did I create?
right. It's really not about what level of art
Right.
you are at. Like, I mean, I was saying this to you, Lindsay, before, like my almost 8-year-old is arguably a better artist than me, right? Like, I mean, her work's amazing. Mine is like really juvenile. It does not matter. We do not want that to be a reason why people don't participate. Like, our twist shops are really about processing your experiences with cancer. The art is completely secondary. And what we find is that when people are able to use their hands, even if you're just doodling and it's not a beautiful thing, it allows you to sort of be able to really talk about what is hard and difficult. It allows people to sort of open up in ways that you wouldn't anticipate. So the art is really not the focus of anything that we're doing. It's a beautiful output that happens, but you do not need to be an artist to participate in anything that we're doing. Unless you are participating as an artist
as the artist.
Cancer, we want you to actually be an artist.
Right. And it's such a release. But I find that even though it's like, oh, I'm not an artist, and but once they do it, they're just blown away at what they create, because it is the most beautiful thing. And they're like, whoa, I didn't even realize I could do that. But once they just get all their emotions out, and it can end up being the most beautiful thing. So there really is artists in everybody.
Yep.
At all different levels. Well, thank you so much, Jenna, for educating and bringing awareness to your wonderful organization, Twist Out Cancer. It's the work you do is so wonderful and brings much needed support to so many people, and all the way in Tel Aviv, which is just wonderful. So thank you so much for meeting with me and talking with us and participating, and for partnering with Jasper. We really appreciate you and your time today. I just want to let everybody know our next webinar will be featuring our nonprofit partner, Kesem, and it'll be Wednesday, April 26th, and there will be a link for registration. It'll be 12 p.m. Eastern time, so you can check our website for more information, and please go to Twist Out Cancer's website to reach out to Jenna and to learn more about Twist Out Cancer. Thank you, everybody, and I thank you, Jenna, so much, and I hope you have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.